Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ba'd. Hope is a very powerful quality. It is only with hope that a community can go through some of the most difficult and trying moments in its life. And that is why throughout the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to remind you and I to never lose hope. A community that does not have hope eventually withers away because they have no purpose and objective. When Andalus, we hear about Al-Andalus, Spain, Muslim Spain, was under the Muslims, it was a thriving, powerful community. And during the Reconquista, when Europe comes to the shores of Andalus and eventually takes over and commits a massacre, the Muslims of Andalus, subhanAllah, they were able to hold on to their faith for generations. And one of the reasons why, despite the mounting pressure, despite the pushback, the persecution, a people were able to hold on to their iman is because of hope. A more common example is Soviet Russia. In Soviet Russia, because of communism, they were trying to erase every mark of Islam. They were trying to erase every mark of Islam. And if anybody was seen practicing on Islam, they were imprisoned. But despite that, people were going to great lengths to read the Quran, to preserve the Quran. Some people inside of their homes, they would carve out a special room in another room that nobody could see. They would put alcohol and they would put pictures of Stalin and everything in the front just so that they don't get arrested. And they would have a secret room in the side where they would read the Quran. They would memorize the Quran. They would teach hifz. Why would they do this? Why would they go to such lengths? Because when you look at your current circumstances, you should never lose hope. If you lose hope by looking at your current circumstances, then that ummah is defeated. But when an ummah realizes that, okay, things are bad right now, but I still have a duty to carry on the deen, to pass on the deen. It may be tough for me one generation, but at least I've done my duty. I've passed on the torch to the next generation. And when things get better, perhaps they can carry it on. You know, the example of Turkey in 1924, when Ataturk, because of him, Arabic script, adhan, everything was completely banned. You couldn't even write in Arabic. You couldn't call the adhan. One generation later, 1950, the adhan comes back. A few decades later, people start wearing hijab. A few decades later, now everybody wants to move to Turkey because they feel it's a much better place to live than it is in other places. Again, we need some patience with the circumstances, but we should never lose hope. And always remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most wise, most compassionate, and most merciful. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us hope in these difficult times. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never allow us to lose sight of the main objective, and may we continue to preach and teach the deen and carry on to those who will come after us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan.